What's going on, party people? And welcome to the most dangerous podcast in the land. Let me get to that in a little bit. Let me tell you who I am. I am your host, John M. Singletary Sr. And y'all know how we do on alternate Tuesdays or when I don't have a guest. We're gonna rock this on the audio podcast, and we're also gonna broadcast the video on YouTube only. But that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Thank you so much for the overwhelming response to our interview last week with Erica Warren of Dope Discussions Live podcast. The compliments keep coming in. So that was a great interview, and so thankful that she was able to make some time to come and hang out with us. And me and my co-pilot LJ, man, we just chilling, man. And these allergies, man, they got my baby down a little bit, but he's rounding back up into shape. And we're going to get back out and get some things accomplished, you know. Retirement ain't changed nothing, man. I'm still out here grinding. I'm still out here busy. I'm still taking appointments and doing things, man. And I'm grateful because it's just an indicator that I recognize that I'm a person of purpose. And so ease and relaxation is not my desire for impact in life, but ease and relaxation is a very necessary part of a good life and self-care. So don't let me ever sound like self-care isn't important. But listen, I am John M. Singletary Sr., the host of the Help Myself podcast. I got to put that senior in there because I got a junior. I just told you about LJ. That's my co-pilot, not only on the show, but in life. And that's who I do it for. An amazing source of inspiration. I'm so proud of him and I'm so inspired by him. And this is the most dangerous podcast in the land because we are taking the power and putting it where it belongs. And that is in the hands of the people. And who are the people? You. You are the people. You are more powerful than you can ever realize. LJ agrees with that. You hear him in the background. And it's important for us to do everything we can to take back our power so that we can make the impact that we were created and destined to make. And you are so powerful. I talked about perspective and you believe what you perceive. And if we just took some time to change our perspective up a little bit, it would be amazing what we could accomplish. You know, the law of polarity, we're going to talk about that, but everything has two sides. And so if there's a positive, there's a negative, and it really depends on where your focus is. So that's important. But today I want to shout out my fellow Air Force expert, Kristen Brigante, and she posted a Facebook post talking about the power of no. And as I often do with my folks who I really believe in, I added my 2 cents and she challenged me to do a podcast about the power of no and using no responsibly. So because she challenged me, I absolutely will be talking about the power of a responsible no. It's very important. I think some of us are people pleasers, or we are the type of people that base a lot of our value on being able to produce. And it's important to understand that you have intrinsic value, that you're valuable because of who you are, and to have people in your life that love you simply because of who you are. But at the same time, there is value in getting stuff done, get the job done. You know, that people tend to put a lot on folks that they know can get the job done. It can be a heavy weight to carry. But I'll tell you this, it's important to get the job done, but then you've got to manage your tasks. Because if people know that you're a proven commodity, of course they're going to want to reach out to you because you get it done and they want it done, right? So, I mean, ain't no harm in that. Look, if I talk about eating all the time, man, I think, I don't want to say that, but let's just say that there's probably somebody on the inside of me that don't look nothing like the person on the outside of me. But hey, listen, if you know that a restaurant consistently cooks your favorite meal exactly how you like it and it's chef kiss every time, oh, you're going to keep going back. So if you produce at a high level and people can depend on you to get the job done, obviously they are going to continue to come back. So we want to take a look at that. We want to understand the value in that, but then understand the value in the power of a responsible no. Listen, here is the front facing truth that makes no powerful, and not only powerful, but necessary. Your time is limited, very limited. You only have so much time in a day, and there's so many things that you need to do. So when it comes to doing what you need to do, when you don't utilize no correctly, you will get caught doing things that you don't need to do, taking away from the things that you do need to do. Uh, you know, us parents, our children need time. Retiring was a very important thing for me because I considered retiring before I came to DC, because me and LJ were new to our new surroundings. I knew he needed me more than ever before. He just lost his mother, moving to a new state, new city, transitioning. We were trying to catch our stride. And I felt like retiring would give me an opportunity to focus on my son the way that I needed to. Now, I'm glad I took this opportunity to come out here and grow and expand, because I wouldn't even be here on the Help Myself podcast if I wouldn't have taken this opportunity. Who knows where life might have taken me? And so I am grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do all the things that I've done since we came out here into the DC metro area, or the DMV. But I do understand that there was some sacrifice that I had to make. And that's something that I've talked about a lot, is that for me to be truly effective at the places where I decided to focus my attention, there were going to be some other places that didn't get my attention. And I had to be okay with that. There were some personal things that I wasn't going to be able to do anymore if I was going to be the best father that I could possibly be, and the best leader that I could possibly be. So there were sacrifices that I had to make. There were some no's that were inherent in those decisions. A decision to do something is a decision not to do something else. And that is a no that we often miss, is that because I chose to take my energy here, I am saying that my energy will not be utilized there. And the power of the no is that this happens whether we believe it or not. When you choose one thing, there's something else that you have to not choose. That is a no, but oftentimes that is a passive no. The only reason why it's a no is because physically I can't. But there is a conservatory no. Yes, my schedule is available to it, but I have to say no because I have to think about me. I have to think about my strength. I have to think about my reservoir. I have to think about my future obligations. And it's not so much will I be in the best physical shape to engage, but what about my mental and my emotional? All of those things, how will they be impacted by me being irresponsible with my no? And irresponsibility with no is a consistent yes. Yes. If you become a yes person, that is being irresponsible with your no. And here's why a no, another reason why a no is important, because again, I said the time is a limited commodity. But here's a mistake that we make. We think that we've been told time and time again, time is money, time is money. Time is not money. They are not equal. Um, And here's one of the myths that the working class, the poor, and even the middle class have that keep us locked into these spaces, is that we are so willing to trade our time for money. But when somebody is willing to pay you for your time, it's because they can afford to, and it's because they want their time. I talk to people all the time, and I'm like, hey, if a job is willing to pay you this salary, you can probably generate 10 times as much on your own doing the same thing. If you took ownership and control of it. But they're paying you that because they can afford, like when they give you a salary, they're not going to give you a salary or a wage that would put them in financial peril. They're going to give you something that they can afford to, and they usually start low. I mean, minimum wage is a law because basically minimum wage says there are some companies and organizations that would pay you less if it wasn't against the law. So they are going to lowball you. And so the idea that your time is money is fundamentally wrong, because if I told you I'll give you $1 million, but you got to give me your life, you would summarily reject that offer. Be like, no, I'm not going to just let you take my life for $1 million. But we often give our lives for whatever money. You know what I mean? So time is like, for instance, when LJ took his first steps, there is no salary that any job could have paid me that would have been worth missing that intentionally. I was blessed. I got to see him take his first steps. And that is a memory, and that is something that I will cherish. And there's no amount of money, that you could give me to say, hey, was that worth it? Because that's something that he will never take his first step again. And these are moments that you have. So time is not money. So now, because you understand conversion, you can understand the power of a no. The power of a no preserves you, but here's some other things that it does. A lot of times people will put you in a situation, and I tell people all the time, if the answer is now and you're not sure, then the answer is no. Let me tell you why. Because when you know you can, you don't hesitate. What that mechanism is that is you trying to please either yourself and your own opinion of who you are and how you come through, or please the other person. But it is not a mechanism of you doing the thing that is the best for you at that moment. That mechanism is to fulfill some type of ideal that you have, or how you feel about yourself. So it's important to be careful with that, because that is not an authentic yes. That is a prove a point yes. And so if the answer is now and you're not sure, then the answer is no. And let me tell you, no is important because it is much easier to turn a no into yes than turn a yes into no. See, I'm one of them people where you will invite me to something 2 months out, and I'll be in a good place and be having a good time, and I'm excited about it. But when it gets to the point where we like a few days out, I'm sitting around thinking, oh, do I really want to do this? Can I figure out a way to get out of it? But I'm going to do it because I gave my yes already. But, I'm looking for a way out. Now, imagine if I said, nah, I'm not. I've actually been in this situation. Somebody was like, are you going to be able to make it to this event? And I was like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. Then on afterthought, I was like, I really would like to make that event. I didn't tell anybody. I just made the arrangements that I need to make, and I made the event. And they were like, oh my God, I thought you wasn't going to be able to make it. I was like, well, I was able to work some things out. I wanted to be there. There was no regret. Everything worked out. And I was able to turn that around, because nobody was expecting me to be there. So now my presence is a bonus. But when they expect me to be there and I don't show up, that puts a cloud on the event. I'm not saying I'm that important or you're that important, but I am telling you that when people expect you to do something and then you say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it, that always puts a little dark cloud over it. So it's easier to turn a no into a yes than it is to turn a yes into a no. But so many other things. So when you give out your yes irresponsibly, you are telling people that your time is not as valuable as it is. And that's a conversation that I've had with a couple of people. It's not that I don't want to engage. It's not that I don't want to have the conversation, but I don't want you to assume that just because I don't do the same job that I used to do, that my time belongs to you whenever you want it. My time is still valuable to me. And I think that it's important for you to understand that now that I have transitioned, I have more control over who I allow to have access. So sometimes the answer is no, not right now. Let's schedule this and do this later, because I'm giving you my no because I want to be prepared. I want to be able to give you the time. When I worked for the Air Force and somebody called me, I was on call. And so I had to get into that mode to take care of it if it was possible, because I was on the clock, I was on salary. I'm not on the clock now. So I can say, this isn't a good time for me. Maybe I'm reading a book. Maybe I'm in an appointment. Maybe I'm spending time with my son. Whatever it might be, that time belongs to me. And I don't allow other people to dictate my schedule haphazardly. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to play nice. That just means that I understand the value of a no. No, not right now. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do this. Sometimes my no is saying, look, I would try to do this, but I will do a disservice not only to you, but to myself, because I know I'm not in the best place to do this. And we know that there have been times we've given a yes when we know we don't have the ability to give it all. But here's another thing: as a salesman, I like no because it kind of sets that stage for a little bit of exclusivity. If people just can depend on you to always be saying yes, they don't value it as much. Sometimes when you don't have access to something, that makes it a little more valuable, you know, like limited amount. I mean, and your time is a limited amount. Your time, like, like you can go to the store and you can buy them those what we call it, those senior citizen walking shoes. They're always going to be available because they're not in high demand. But you get one of those special, somebody specially designed, that's a limited amount. It's saying everybody can't have it. And your no is important because you need to let people know everybody can't have my time, because there are people that deserve your time more than others. Your family actually deserves your time more than your boss. But you make allowances because you got to take care of your family. Your friends deserve your time more than just random folks that want you to do a favor for them. But sometimes you will put yourself in that situation where you're doing more for people that matter less, because again, sometimes it's ego, sometimes it's just, hey, this is who I see myself as, and so I've got to come through as that. But when you really value your yes and your no, you're going to be careful with it. Your mental health. Sometimes we're just so used to go that we don't even think about giving a no. We live in a society and we live in a time where we brag about burning the candle at both ends. People brag about, what do people say all the time? I'll sleep when I die. Listen, if you don't get enough sleep, you will die real soon. Like, sleep is important. And I'm not saying that sometimes you can't sacrifice sleep. I'm a proponent of when you need to push, you got to push. You got to be willing to sacrifice something. But I'm saying don't make it a habit. Oh, well, and you need 7 hours of sleep at night, but you say, so people can think I'm tough, I'm only going to do 3.5. You ain't doing nothing special for nobody. Most of us just looking at you like, man, why are you so grumpy? You should probably go take a nap or something. But the power of a responsible no, not only conserving your mental health, not only conserving the time that is precious and limited, that you only have a a specific commodity of, because we know none of us know when our time is going to be up. Not only conserving time that belongs to people who are important, not only being a good steward of your time by utilizing a no, but no's empower you. It empowers you because it gives you control back, and not control in the matter of I want to be bossy or whatever, but it gives you control because now you can effectively plan your timing because you know you're not afraid to say no to things that don't serve you and serve your life. So many of us have sacrificed our energy and our life essence, giving a yes to something that doesn't serve our life because we feel like we're supposed to say yes. But when you can have the courage, when you can have the belief in yourself, when you can value yourself enough to say, I am willing to say no to things that I know that long term will not serve me. And people will get mad, they will get in your feelings, they'll say you think you're this, you think you're that, but it's none of that. It is all about when you care about yourself, you are willing to say, I am going to set the standard of how I give my yes and my no. And I'm going to be liberal with my no, because a well-positioned no will make your yes that much powerful. Listen, if I was, when I would recruit and I would show them the offer, listen, I was so arrogant. I thought that everybody that sat down in my office was going to join. And I would lay it out, and I would know that the offer that I was setting forth, the way that I had crafted it, I had looked at their information, where they were going, what they needed. I knew I crafted an offer that would make their life better. It would move them from a place of pain to a place of pleasure. I knew that my offer was what they needed. And when they had doubts or when they wanted to say no, I said, man, that is fine. So now that the answer is no, there's somebody out there that has a yes. So I appreciate your time. It has been great sitting here with you. But if that answer is no, hey, we're done here. And not in a mean way, but it's like the Air Force pays me to sell. So I got to go get in front of other people to sell because it's the SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Next. And when you get that no, it opens up new opportunities. I think I said something right there. Hey, you hear that, Kristen? No, new opportunities, man. Open up them new opportunities to live a world or live a life that you've never lived before. Because the things that you say no to make space for the things that you really desire to say yes to. It's the law of polarity. Everything's got to be a yes or a no. Everything can't be yes. Everything can't be no. It's got to be a balance. And you've got to have the courage to say no to protect you, to protect what you value, to protect your mental and emotional health, to protect your physical health, to protect your legacy, to protect your family, to protect your loved ones. You got to be willing to say no. So that when you say yes, it means what it means. Hey, y'all. I went short because, that was just sitting on my head because we talked about it. I'm going to get into this no, and I'm going to break it down a little bit deeper at a future time. So be on the lookout for that. But listen here. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for spending a little time with me and my co-pilot. We're going to get back to our day, but we want to leave you with that. Listen, I'm going to close how I always close. Look, I can't help myself. I've got to inspire. I've got to encourage. I've got to empower. But I can't help myself by being the absolute best version of myself. And guess what? You can too. So why not we do it together? All right, we out, y'all.